Welcome, Speed Gaming 4, for another amazing SMZ3. My name is Lucas Dragon, and tracking for me today is Pixcalibur. We've got Nidorific and Scupula, and we're just about getting ready to start the race here. As we are going to go into a normal 774. Need 7 crystals to open GT, need 7 to beat Ganon, and 4 tokens to get into Turian. Alright, looks like Nidorific going with the standard Samus, and Scupula going with the Zelda 2. One of the underrated Zeldas, in my opinion, but it's always fun to see custom sprites here. Looks like both players are going to head straight into Link to Past. Pretty standard start. You only get a couple items in the beginning, and nothing on the ledge today, just some missiles. And a piece of heart in Link's house, so nothing too major there. We're going to see a map check. We've got a blue pendant in Desert, a crystal in the Tower of Hera, and I believe it was a token in Eastern Palace. It's like Meteorific heading towards Uncle and Scupula, maybe trying to set up for the Houlihan here. Indeed, as Meteorific is getting a few more guard kills for Tree Pole. Oop, and gets a bomb drop. That's nice. And Uncle with the boots today, so we're going fast right away. That's a great find. And question in chat, if this is a normal or hard, this is normal logic. Just a standard E-tank in the sanctuary to start. People are gonna head towards their Uncle and get the boots, as we're gonna check out Bonk Rocks right away on Nidorific's side. And finds our first sword. That's another great early find. And yeah, another thing in chat, like I kind of consider the Samus sprites to be pretty standard in terms of like hit boxes. So when I say standard, it's standard Samus, but not standard colors. And we get full magic refills on the bush crab, which right now is not needed, but is good to know. Looks like some super missiles on the lumberjack ledge. Nothing we're going to come back to. Cupula picking up their sword. As Nidorific is heading into the forest and finds a super missile pack. It's going to be dropping down here in just a second. We get to see what waits us down below. Nice 300 rupees gets us ever closer to the Zora scam. What do you think we're gonna see today, chat? What's Zora's scam of the day? Seeing Spring Ball, Bugnet, Ice Rod. A lot of different choices so far. Alright, Nidourific hitting into Blind's Hut here. Finding a Bloopy, some bombs, Beats of Heart, 10 arrows, and a mirror. So one good item at least in Blind's Hut. Scupula is very close behind and is going to get the items just mentioned, as Nidourific is going to head into the well. And finds the bug net. There's at least one chat pick down. Some super missiles. Some normal missiles. 20 and Bombos. Bombos is another great early find, especially for Ice Palace. And oh, there's our morph on the bottle vendor. 100 rupees gets you everything you need to get started in Super Metroid. And after a piece of heart in the chicken hut, Meteorific finds the pancakes, the gravity suit, in the back of the tavern. Another nice early find. Quick library check, and we've got the bow, which, since both players have the boots, is an easy knockdown, grab it, gonna need it later. Meteorific heading straight into the race game, not even gonna check. And, oh, just a Greg. Not needed, and save crits, and might see... I'm guessing a South Shore check now. Or might just be going to Eastern, the way it looks. Both players heading into Sahashila's. And in his closet, we've got a different kind of boots, the high jumps, and another nice item with the hook shot. Scupula finding out that Turtle Rock is our green pendant for today, which is a good find if there's nothing in Turtle Rock. And as expected, both players are hitting and doing a full clear of Eastern Palace because all you need is the bubble. You can full clear everything. The hook shot makes it a little bit nicer because you can skip one room, but you'll be seeing both players using that here, finding the big key, and heading over towards the west side. Finding the X-ray, which is one of our good items for microwaving Super Metroid bosses. As Nidorific finds the map and is going to play the odds and grab the other chest. Dark rooms posing no problems for either player, as this is one of the probably the easier of the dark rooms. Very simple in design. People managing to get the chest first, which is just a bomb refill, and is heading towards the boss. We'll get to see the quick kill on the Armos Knights. As Nidorific plays it safe and disperses all the anti-fairies before making the chest appear. Scupula having a little bit of problems with the dark room and the knights guarding it, but is going to jump down and grab a fairy to not die and have to go through half of Eastern Palace again. Meanwhile, Nidorific using that bombos to its full effect, grabs the key. And it looks like both players are heading up almost at the same time, so this is good good routing on both of them, both neck and neck, and this is what you want to see in a race. Still plenty of time to go, though, so we'll see if there's any divergence here in the future. Both players taking out the enemies very quickly, heading into the boss fight almost the same time. You see the Armos Knights get arrowed. And in each tank for the troubles, and both players have prayed token. And it looks like both players are heading towards the South Shore. Scupula heading straight for Mini Moldorm. Nidorific is probably going to check the dam first. And then the Mini Moldorm Cave. We'll see if this play pays off. Not so far to begin with just some missiles. Meanwhile, Scupula grabbing a piece apart, 20 rupees, super missile, another 20, power bombs, and Eaterific with the 50 and draining the moat, and is actually heading towards the desert cave. Meanwhile, Scupula is heading in the opposite direction and heading for the Ice Rod cave. Eaterific checking the desert ledge, it's just 100 rupees. And now it's time to check the cave. Cupula finding a piece of heart, and Eaterific just finding some power bombs. So nothing super great in either runner's areas, but uh, Scupula is trying to set up Water Walk, it seems. Having a little bit of issues with it. And Eaterific now setting up for Houlihan and grabbing the rest of the Zora money. That seems to be what Scrupula's going to do. Is he's probably going to head into the waterfall cave, grab the 2 items that are in there, which are super missiles and some bombs. And then we're going to go talk to our good friend, King Zora. On the ledge, it just looks like some arrows over there. And our scam of the day is... oh, just some very expensive power bombs. Scupula now heading and grabbing his moat as Nidorific heads into the mini Moldorm cave and is going to be disappointed by the lackluster amount of items that are in here. And Scupula going to find out that the desert ledge just has some rupees. Cave has just some power bombs for us. And Scupula heading into escape now. It's gonna first head into the back of Hyrule Castle, into the dungeon, rescue Princess Zelda. Meanwhile, Nidorific checking the waterfall cave. As our first chest is just a key, which is good. Meteorific grabbing the item from the man under the bridge, which is a grapple hook, or a grappling beam for Samus, which is an item that has its uses, especially right now. Neither player has like space jump or anything. Plus, it's always good for the quick kill of Dragon, assuming that Dragon is not a pendant. Scapula just picking up a bomb refill, as Meteorific is going to go get scammed. And I think the gun price is 20 rupees. On it. As Scapula heads into Dark Cross. And I think that was just a part refill. Or no, they're not at the chest yet. Never mind. Taking it a little safe because there are more enemies down here than you might think about casually. It's an unfortunate game over. Gonna have to go through that section again. But instead, Scapula heading towards Super Metroid. Got a lot of good items to start with, so we'll see where he heads first. Gonna head to 230. And finds 300 rupees for the trouble. Meanwhile, Meteorific heading down into the basement and is going to take out the first guard here. Scapula heading back up the shaft and it's going to head towards Bomb Chorizo. And BT only has a 20, so that's an easy, quick skip. Meteorific grabbing a few hearts for safety, as Scapula is going to head towards wrecked ship, it looks like. Might make a stop at Red Tower first, but definitely has everything that they need to take out the ghost. He's going to head straight for the moat. Just some missiles on top of the pillar there. And is trying to set up a gravity jump. And just get a second try. As Meteorific finds out that the Dark Cross item was an E-tank. Meanwhile, we have 20 rupees under the sea. Meteorific continuing to go through escape, and Scrupula finding that the spooky missiles are spooky rupees. As Meteorific manages to get through and is going to check the 3 chests, which are just a missile, 20 rupees, and gets a Master Sword. Is a very good find for Meteorific. And Scupula is heading into Bantoon as Meteorific joins Scupula in Super Metroid. We'll see where Nito heads first. It is going in the same direction of Wrecked Ship. And is going to head straight towards Wrecked Ship. And Meteorific checking the spot above the water and finding out that it's just the missiles, so it's probably not going to come back that way. Scapula takes down Bantoon pretty easily. Kind of dabs on him a little bit. And gets a token for the trouble. As Meteorific heads into the Fantoon fight, Gila is going to head into the rest of the wrecked ship here, heading into the east side. We've got some sponges getting in our way and some robots. And finding a piece of art there. Is going to head back towards the other side. Meteorific getting his shouts in as Cupula finds Space Jump. Very good find early on. And Lace Fairy Spray. Just a little enlarged. As Scipula is going to head into the spiked room of death. Luckily with Space Jump, it makes it a little bit safer. Only gets hit once. And Nidorific takes down Fantoon and is going to head in the same general direction as Scipula finds some missiles after the spiked room. And Nidorific picking up Base jump from himself as Scupula trying to get the clip going. Can't seem to get it to work and just goes through the normal way. Scupula now gonna head into the slow robot room as Nidorafic makes his way through the spiked room of death. We get to see what item the robots are guarding. As Scupula sees the missile pack, almost decides not worth it, but then checks the missile count and says, you know what? I might want it after all. And with Space Jump, that make another easy check is the Sky Missiles with just some arrows. And Scipula is going to pick up the missile pack and head towards the bowling room. Also picking up the missiles as Scipula starts to go bowling. And just some bombs held by the Rosa statue, but Scipula is going to check what item is above here. Needs to be pretty careful about these jumps. Manages to not get hit by the spikes. As we see just some super missiles up there, and we're not going to come back for those. And just some missiles exiting wreck ship, and we're going to see where Scupula heads next. First, Scupula looking like he's going to go down towards Red Tower, but instead is going to check above the ship, and we'll probably make a refill after that. Might check Gauntlet here. People are just finding a loopy in the ship power bombs. And yeah, this looks like a play for Gauntlet. Meteorific, however, is going to head down Red Tower. And the first item of Gauntlet is an E-Tank, as Meteorific picks up 300 rupees in the top spot of Red Tower. An E-Tank and a reserve tank for Meteorific, missiles and super missiles for Scupula. As Scupula finds Screw Attack on the exit of Gauntlet, heading back towards the ship, is going to open up the entrance to the endgame area. Meteorific is heading into X-Ray. Scupula getting the Mock Ball. And both players finding some missiles. Scupula finding an ether and some, just a little bit of money, 20 rupees. Their trouble. And Scupula finds another E-Tank above the Mock Ball room and is probably going to head down now towards the Edicunes, as Meteorific is going to make their way towards, at least in the direction of Spazer. We'll see if where Meteorific. Yep, Meteorific is going to check Spazer, as Scupula finds the Plasma Beam, a great early find, and an energy tank. The Edicunes have the goods today. Meteorific finding a heart container in Spazer. As 50 rupees is found above the Edicune room, as Meteorific is going to make his way into Meridia. Sees the bombs in the speed block and a heart container in the watery room, and is going to head into Mama Turtle, as Scupula is going to head into Big Pink here. And sees some bombs Lays a power bomb of his own. Nidorefic finding some super missiles above Mama Turtle. And on the side, just a shovel. And Scipula finding some missiles. And is going to head down towards high jump. Or charge beam. Seeing the half magic there. Nice. Scipula setting up for the Spore Spawn missiles. It's a second try. Nidorefic heading up into the beach area. Finding a heart piece there, and is going to head over towards the double item area as Scipula picks up another missile pack. And question if Spazer had anything. I don't think it had anything terribly useful. Nidorefic does pick up the male upgrade as Scipula is heading into the wave gate room. And finds Varia. So both suits now under Scipula's control. Nidorefic heading down into the sand area. And Scipula finds his secondary sword. Both players at Master Sword currently. If Nidorefic heads down there, which I'm sure he will at some point, he'll get his sword upgrade, but we know where 3 of the sword upgrades are at the moment. Scipula heading back towards the Vanilla Morph as Nidorefic finds a couple of power bombs up above and is going to check the sand now. Scipula finding some super missiles at Vanilla Morph and is going to head over towards Billy Mays. Is going to make the stop down below first. Finding 20 rupees. Nidorefic now heading down into the west sand pit. Finding a heart container and some money. Easy reset. Scipula finding a couple missile packs and opens the way to Billy Mays. So Nidorefic now going to check the eastern sand pit as Scipula finds out a great TV deal, which is buy one wave beam, get a shield upgrade absolutely free. Hurry now, supplies are limited. Nidorefic finding a piece of heart and 20 rupees and makes the sinking feeling that we're going to get a shack check. Scipula now heading up towards Old Mother Brain. Old Mother Brain just has a little bit of, or more love than usual, but a heart container is what Scipula finds. as he heads up towards the super climb. It is going to take care of the enemies, or at least, not sure why you spent a couple of power bombs. Sees the E-Tank as we find a flute in Shack. Oof. So, if you're Neaterific, you want Misery Mire to be in the list of crystal/token dungeons. And if you're Scupula, you really want to make sure you make that check when you get down there. But without the grapple beam, is going to have to find ice if he wants to do the skip. Otherwise, he's going to have to search for the grapple beam. Scupula now heading down toward Red Tower, as Meteorific is going to make his way to Kraid. Checks the item first. It's just a reserve tank, says not needed, and just gonna head, and we're gonna see hopefully a quick kill Kraid. Scupula decides no on the E tank and the reserve, and Neaterific not letting Kraid stand up. Gets Crystal 7 from Kraid as he heads into Kraid's side room for a bottle. Scupula now heading towards his X-ray, as Neaterific is making the way out of Kraid's lair. Gonna check the one item to go, and is gonna head probably into, might head down into Norfair, or, but we'll see where Neaterific goes. Is gonna head into Upper Norfair. Wasn't sure if he was gonna go get his logical Varia, but is gonna check the high jumps, thinking maybe it's there. And some money and some super missiles. Meanwhile, Scupula heading up towards Spazer almost falls down. Meteorific seeing the money, skipping that, and just a heart container in Spazer. Meteorific finding a piece of heart above the rock escape is going to go into Link to the Past and into the mountains. And we're going to see our old man rescue as Scupula heads into Kraid. And at first I thought Scupula was going to grab that reserve tank, but takes the powerbomb check and says nope. As we see another armor upgrade for Nidoриfic, he's up to red mail. As we're going to check the rest of the rest of the mountain here because he's got hook shot. Just a piece of heart above and some bombs. Scupula does let Kraid stand up as Nidoриfic heads into the Dark World. And we get, looks like Meyer, Evestown, Skullwoods, Swamp Palace, Ice are needed. So we've got Pendant on Turtle Rock and Pod. And that just makes Nidorific's flute a must-have item, which is great for Nidorific, not so great for Scupula at the moment. Nidorific setting up for the Harapot. As Scupula is grabbing the E-Tank. Nidorific having a little bit of issues here. Personally, I like the spin speed version of Harapot, but whatever works for you. And Scupula heading down into Norfair. Finds the compass right away. Is going to head up towards Moldorm. As Scupula gets the super missiles, Nidorific is now taking on the Trolldorm, hoping he doesn't get knocked down. Does not get trolled today, except does get a mushroom from Trolldorm, so possibly a fetch quest item that We'll see if it's needed or not. Meanwhile, Scipula finding some money in Cathedral and is heading towards Bubble Mountain. Meteorific heading towards East Death Mountain now. Scipula finding some money and it's going to head into the rest of the area, finding a heart container and a piece of heart. Meteorific into Paradox Cave with some money and missiles. Finds the Cane of Burna, some missiles, power bombs, the Cane of Samaria, and another bottle. So both canes in the Paradox Cave. Very interesting. Scipula heading over into Vanilla Wave, finds some missiles as Meteorific is heading up the mountain. And sees the missiles in the Sky Island. And is going to head now into Spiral Cave. As Scipula is going to head into the Speed Booster room. Meteorific finding a shield upgrade, saves and quits. And Scipula doing the arm pump dance. And sees a piece of heart. We'll take it above the Speed Booster room, which is just 10 arrows, as Meteorific is going to head into the dig spot. And sees a spring ball for the effort, so not a bad item. Not necessarily needed, but will definitely help on movement. And Scipula finding the Moon Pearl in Bubble Mountain. Meanwhile, Meteorific is going to say hello to the sick kid. He had a shield upgrade for us, as Scipula looks like he might be heading down towards Croc. Or might just be heading down to Ridley. Meteorific activating the flute and gets the duck, saves and quits. And where are you going to go now? Is going to turn in the mushroom. Scipula heading into Lower Norfair here shortly. And the mushroom led to some bombs. So Meteorific just resets and goes back into Super Metroid. And yeah, one thing I didn't think about, but am realizing now, Scipula does not need the flute per se, because he can take this Lower Norfair exit into Misery Mire, and that's going to have to be the way that he gets into Misery Mire. Just finding a heart container next to GT. Sees money above GT and power bombs, so quickly resets, and probably is just going to head into, or might check Meyer. I would check Meyer if I were him. Of course, Scupula does not have either Cane of Samaria or the Cane of Burna, which both canes are in Paradox Caves, so will not be able to finish Meyer even if he does go in there. Meteorific now heading into Gauntlet, picking up his E-Tank, as Scupula is going to head towards Ridley. Ito picking up the super missiles, leaves the normal missiles alone, and is going to pick up his screw attack as Scupula is checking the mouse house. Just some missiles in the mouse house, picks them up, and is going to head back towards Ridley. And Meteorific now heading into his Mach Ball as Scupula continues his descent down towards Ridley. Meteorific picking up his Ether. And a piece of heart just above the metal pirates. Meteorific now going to head into his Edikun room. As Scupula takes out the metal pirates. And Meteorific now has his plasma beam as Scupula is continuing the progress towards Ridley. Meteorific making the mock ball run and is now going to head over towards his big pink. And on Scupula's side, here's Ridley. Scupula going to have to be very careful here not to miss. This is super missile ammo is at a premium here. Ooh. There's quite a number of misses there, so he's going to have to be pretty on the ball with the missiles here. Does manage to take on Ridley, as Meteorific sees the half magic, does not pick that up. At least not initially. But does get his Tempered Sword. And does get his half magic. I was going to say, half magic with an easy find like that, I don't know why you would skip it, but I just like having the half magic. Meteorific picking up missiles, and Scupula doing a little bit of ammo refill, or at least some energy refill. As Meteorific now is going to head into his wave gate. Scupula taking this a little bit slower than I would have expected, but might just be trying to not soft lock. Meteorific finally picks up his Varia, and probably wishing that he had that a little bit sooner. But we're probably going to see him going to Norfair now, as Scupula is making his way out. Meanwhile, Scupula now in the Firefleas room and sees the Piece of Heart, says I don't need it, and is going to head up and probably going to go check the jail. Meanwhile, Meteorific heading into the room over here, going to pick up his 20 rupees, and is going to head over towards Billy Mays. Scupula seeing the money, says nope, got enough of it. You're just going to check the... Ooh, sees that speed booster, almost says no, but speed booster is a nice item, just happens to be in Lower Norfair. The end of Lower Norfair, too. Meteorific picking up his Mirror Shield and his Wave Beam, as Scupula continues to leave. And at this point, Scupula's made most of the checks of Super Metroid, has not gone into Croc, and might be where he's heading now. Either that or going to head in. Yep, he's going towards Croc. I was going to say one of his options would be to go back into Lower Norfair, go check Meyer, or at least get into the Dark World, check your requirements, but is instead going to feed Croc his daily dose of super missiles. People are seeing a 20 rupee and is taunting Crocomire. Meanwhile, Nidorefic going to check his BT and is going to find that nothing of importance is here and is probably just going to back out. Yep. Scupula finding the first Power Glove. So Croc is a very good find for him, and we're going to see what else Croc might have been hiding. Shine Sparks to get 10 arrows and is now going to head into the grapple room. Meanwhile, Nidorific going back to Link to the Past and is going to go back into Super Metroid. Just a quick refill of health as Nidorific is now going to run into Bubble Mountain. And Scupula going to find the last of the medallions, Quake. So hopefully Quake is required if you're Scupula. But it all depends on, does Nidorific make that play, or does he feel like he's found most of the items that he's looking for when he gets into that general area? Nidorific kind of was heading in the general direction of Croc, but is going to check the Ice Rod first. So I imagine he's just going to make the normal escape and not head over. I guess, yeah, he doesn't have the speed booster that Scupula has, so does have to go back out this way. Sees the tank, says nope, and Scupula heading upwards. And accidentally falls back down, but manages to get back up again. Oh, I see what he's doing. Heads back the other way, but it's having a little bit of troubles getting up to speed here. There you go, Scupula. He's going to go out the back way, head up the spring ball room. If he had spring ball, this would be much easier. Sees the E-Tank, says, I will pass on that, and it's just going to head over towards Ice Beam, which we know is just another E-Tank. Nidorific picking up his bombs now. So both players with bombs. Scupula missing one of the swords that Nidorific has found. Is also missing both canes that are in Paradox Cave. However, Scupula does have the Ether Tablet and speed at the moment. And also Nidorific has the flute whereas Scupula, unless he makes that play in the shack, is not gonna get that flute. Scupula picks up the first of his male upgrades with the old man, as Nidorific is going to leave the speed room and is probably going to head towards Ridley, as Scupula is just going to check the or hopefully goes to Paradox. Oh no, Scupula accidentally hits the text box of doom and gets a mouthful, as he's going to head into the Tower of Hera. Terrific. Seeing that Moon Pearl says, yeah, that's one of those things that you kind of need, and is going to pick that up here shortly as Scupula picks up the first chest, sees that it's a key, and sets up the spin speed. Accidentally opens the door to the basement, or maybe it's on purpose, but does get the parapet nonetheless, as Nidorific is now heading down. Nidorific looking like he's going to head towards Croc first. We know that there's a couple of good items down here. And Scupula heading up towards his troll dorm. And Nidorific is feeding his Crocomire. And Scupula getting bounced back a couple of times. Nearly falls off the ledge a couple of times here. If he can stay on. Does get the 3 Master Sword spins, and both bosses are down. Scupula picking up the crystal. As Nidorific sees the money and says, no, I'll just kind of spin in the air a couple times here. But Scupula finishes his Tower of Hera and is going to head towards East Death Mountain. Nidorific picks up his power gloves, and Scupula picks up his money and missiles, but more importantly, going to find a very good item right here. Not the bottle, but the cane. Samaria is what he is looking for. Picks up his cane of Burna, missiles, and power bombs. Meteorific heading into the hookshot room is going to pick up the Quake first. Sees the single arrow and is just going to get out of there. Meanwhile, Scupula has not checked his back of escape and is going to do that right now. But unfortunately for him, the only thing of value is the sword upgrade. So both players now at Vacant Sword, which is a great place to be. And if they can find a butter sword, just be that much better. People heading into Dark Cross as Nidorific is heading down into Lower Norfair here pretty soon. And since Scupula does not have the flute, takes the whirlpool teleporter to the witch's hut and turns in his mushroom as Nidorific drains the lava for GT. Very quick reset by Scupula as he sees the bombs and says, is not something that I want. Leader sees also nothing that he really wants, but unfortunately for him, went the normal way of GT and is going to have to beat him normally, whereas Scupula was able to reset. That's a very quick GT fight as Nidorfic will now head upwards. Scupula going back into Super Metroid. Nidorfic making the smart play here to stock up on super missiles before he heads down into Ridley. Meanwhile, Scupula is probably going to head towards Dragon. And Scupula is going to head straight down into Mama Turtle. Nidorfic finishes his super missile refill, and he's going to head down into towards Ridley as Pupila picks up not the super missiles, but is going to pick up the shovel. And Scipula deciding that the super missiles are worth it after all. Still does not have charge, so is probably thinking about Mother Brain at the moment. Right. Leaderfic heading first into the Fireflea's room is going to say no to the piece of art. Scipula heading into his little sandpit down here and is going to pick up the red mail. Leaderfic sees the heart container in the jail and is going to head out of Lower Norfair. Or head back to Ridley. Is going to check the room down here first. Almost does the same thing that Scipula did. Does pick up that speed booster and is going to head back towards Ridley. In terms of routing, I don't think that I would have done what Nidoerific did. I would have probably just headed straight for Ridley. You're gonna leave anyway. You might as well grab the checks on your way out, like Scupula did. But may have forgot about it at the moment, or felt like maybe this way was faster. Or may have been looking for a charge beam, hoping to save on the super. Scupula now heading into his West Sandpit, as Nidoerific does the Shine Spark tactic and knocks out both Metal Pirates easy peasy. Scupula, seeing the heart container and money, says no to that and is going to check the other sandpit as Nidoerific is now going to fight Ridley. Scupula takes out Toon as Meteorific takes out Ridley. And above Batoon is a lovely charge beam. Not going to say no to that, as Scupula has everything that he needs to microwave Dragon. Scupula setting up for the full halfy here, or at least the half halfy. It's the half halfy. And Scupula preparing for a very easy Dragon. Takes out the turrets and is waiting for the babies to do their little dance. It's a couple of super hit missiles in. A little curious why Scupula not going for the microwave. May not feel comfortable with it, but it's something maybe I'll ask him later if he does the interview. And Scupula picking up crystal number 3 and is going to pick up the magic cape on Dragon. Scupula taking the safety save after Dragon is probably going to head towards Plasma, and if it's nothing there, might just make a reset. Meanwhile, Meteorific arming the super missiles again. And is going to be the first one to check out Misery Mire. As we see that Ether is needed to get into Misery Mire. Not that it matters for either player, because they both have all the medallions that they need, as Checkerboard just has a little bit of money. So it's going to be a shed check here for Meteorific, as Scupula is takes the reset. Like I said, Eaterific finding the Titan's mitts in the shed is another good find for him. And we're probably going to see him go into the desert here. He's going to full clear this and then, or at least check the items. Probably not a full clear unless he needs to defeat the boss. It does pick up a key on the torch and is going to check the pots now. He's one of the items, just some money. As Scapula is going to head towards... I'm not sure. Okay, a very interesting save and quit there. Eaterific finding the big key and is going to mirror back where the big chest is. Going to pick up that real quick. Scapula going to check their shovel check, I would assume here. Yep, picks up his spring ball. Meterific finding another 20 in desert. And is floating somewhere back to the mountains. I'm guessing he's probably going to go back into Super Metroid here. Or maybe just checking Turtle Rock. As Scapula gets his mirror shield from the sick kid. And yeah, Eaterific with the power glove is probably going to check Hookshot Cave, his Super Bunny Cave, and maybe dip into Turtle Rock. Although without either cane, I can't see him making that play. Finds the Ice Beam in the Super Bunny Cave. Is Scapula heading back down this area here. Eaterific finds another Greg. Just some missiles, Butter Sword, and a heart piece in the Hookshot Cave. So we have found all 4 swords. Still no silvers yet, but with Gold Sword, you almost don't need it at this point. Eaterific heading into probably Thieves Town while Scapula checks the waterway down here. And Eaterific heading into Skull Woods as Scapula finds a hammer in the waterway. Another great item that it's probably going to take Eaterific some time to get back to. That is not what you want to see. And Excalibur with the note here that flute may not even be a thing, given that the mitts were in Meyer shed. So probably the play was to backdoor into Meyer, grab those mitts, and do the rest here. Whether or not Scupula does manage to go and pick up his flute. First, he's going to have to get his grapple. But I can't see Scupula heading and getting the flute from Jack, and it's going to be a while, I think, before Nidorific picks up his hammer in Waterway. Nidorific does find the big key in Skullwoods, and without a rod is as far as he can really go there. But is going to go in the main entrance and do a bomb jump. Oh no, just the compass for the trouble. Not something you want to see. But he's going to head down into Thieves Town now. Although without the hammer, that isn't going to be able to full clear. But is going to check the Dark Ledge first, and we see some flippers. Oh man, what is the seed? I don't believe Nidorific has the cape. I'm pretty sure Scupula does. As Scupula now gets his Dark World check, and we see that Antoon's token is in Skull Woods. Crystal number 5 is in Thieves Town. Number 4 crystal in Mire. Ridley in Swamp. The second crystal in Ice. Red in Pod, and green in Turtle Rock. Meanwhile, Scupula picks up some missiles, because I didn't see quite what was in King's Tomb, but at this point, unless it was a rod, it probably wasn't all that vital. Vito picking up some bomb upgrades, Scupula finding the big key, Thieves Town, as Vito's going to open the small house, find some missiles as Scupula is going to get a bloomerang. And some money. Nidorific finding some money in the chest game. Just a little, vanilla. And Nidorific playing the digging game as Scupula heading up Thieves Town. Nidorific picking up those power bombs as Scipula enters the cricket room. Picks up the missiles and remembers to create a skylight just for blind. Meteorific checking Cave 45 and sees the magic powder and will pick that up. And talk to Stumpy just reveals some missiles. Scipula heading down into the fake maiden's room. And gets a key for the side door. Luckily, he has the hammer, so is going to be able to check this. Meanwhile, Nidoриfic is going to go into Hype Cave, finds the silvers, and not much else other than like reserve tank, which is not something that he wants, but the silvers is something that he wants. Scipula now heading into, or is going to head into the blind fight here very shortly. Scipula with the good-looking blind fight so far. Takes blind out pretty much according to script. Easy peasy. Grabs a crystal, and we're out of there. Meteorific now heading into the Smith chain. And Scipula gets his bomb upgrade from the C-shaped house as the dwarven blacksmith is returned. And as a reward, get some reading material. How to forge in 10 easy steps. Meteorific grabs the treasure chest and is going to head into Magic Bat. It only gets 10 arrows for the trouble. Meanwhile, Scipula is not going to find any progression here and is probably just going to have to escape Skullwoods, much like Nidoриfic did. And the chest only contains some missiles, so Nidoриfic still hasn't found quite what he wants. Was looking for at least a fire rod and needs the hammer that we know is in the waterway. Scipula, meanwhile, finds a key, mirrors back, and we're where are you going now? Is going to check his Dark Ledge. Is going to see the flippers up there. And it does have the cape, so he is going to pick up those flippers as it is needed to complete Swamp Palace. Scupula now picking up his Graveyard Ledge as Nito grabs the key and is heading towards the upper portion of Thieves Town. Scupula finding the money and does not have the Titan's Nets. I was gonna have to skip King's Tomb for now. Scupula with the flippers is probably going to go into Swamp now, as Nidorafic is going into the or going towards the False Maiden. And just as a reminder to, if you enjoy watching these runners, please give them a follow. Nidorafic and Scupula have been putting on a very good showcase. The bot does not seem to be responding, but give them a follow. And there, I'm gonna post these in manually, but there's Nidorafic. And of course, Scupula. And I am on Twitch as well, as Rainbow pointed out. I'm also on Twitter and a few other places, but and please also give some love to Pixcalibur. I do not have a link if they want to post that in chat. Terrific is going to check out Bombos here and gets some bomb upgrades as Scupula is going to head further into Swamp. Oh, Scupula finding that fire rod. It is a huge find for the Swamp Palace. Terrific, heading towards the Pyramid Fairy. Oh yes, without the hammer, this is going to be quite a walk. As Scupula does diver down, gets E-Tank and some bomb refills. Niterific setting up the water walk. Which is needed since he doesn't have the flippers yet. And Scupula taking down Argus very quick. And Niterific waiting until time 0, I guess. Must be a trick that I'm seeing for the first time, but is trying very hard. Is he going to be able to make it? He's going to take out the enemies first. And finally gets across. Meanwhile, Scupula, with a much easier pathway, has the hammer and is just gonna get to the pyramid before Niterific. Scupula finding the money. And inside the pyramid, we've got a bottle and the ice rod. Now all the rods have been found. But since Turtle Rock was a pendant, is not needed, really. Now, on Scrupulous' side, he's still searching for the Titan Smiths and possibly a flute for just better navigation, but it's more looking for the Titan Smiths. And on Nidourific's side, he's looking for the Fire Rod and the Hammer and the Cape. He knows where flippers are, but unless he wants to keep setting up fake flipper or splash deletion, is going to have a hard time progressing without those items. Cupula looking like he has a little bit of an advantage here, but it all depends on when the players find the items that they're looking for. Of course, we know where they are, but they do not. Hey, there we go. The bot got fixed. Yes, follow the runners. And there's Excalibur's link as well as my own. Definitely follow the runners because they've been putting on a really good show today. Alright, Meteorific finally picking up his charge beam on the back of Batoon and is probably just going to head straight into Dragon. Meanwhile, Scipula with the Fire Rod is going to head towards the back of Skull Woods. Scipula making short work of the mummies as Meteorific opens up the missile ports and is prepping the microwave. And the microwave makes short work of Dragon, as Microwave Shrimp is sure to drive away anybody in the office. Meteorific picking up his crystal, Scupula picking up his token. Meteorific, now with the cape, is able to go and get the flippers. Scupula picking up the E-Tank and is gonna save and quit. And not sure why he's not going to finish out. Oh yeah, he already finished Skullwoods. So Scrupulous, still searching for the Titan Smiths. Meanwhile, Neaterific is heading towards Plasma. And Scrupula in Spike Cave. Scrupula just finding some missiles, not what he's looking for, as Neaterific heading up towards Plasma. Scrupula heading back into Super Metroid and is going to head back towards Bubble Mountain. Sure what Scrupula is heading back for, but must have forgotten about something. Meanwhile, Neaterific heading towards the Dark World Ice Palace area. He saves and quits the mountain. Looks like he might be also heading back into Norfair. Or at least heads into Dark World as he takes a mirror to the top of Spec Rock and is going to check out our tablet. And finds another bottle. Scupula heading towards the checkerboard cave as Neaterific heads up from Upper Norfair into the Meridia area. Scupula checking out the shed now. Finally finds his Titan's mitts. He is in go mode now. And opens up Meyer. We're going to get a clear here. Meanwhile, Neaterific heading into Green Hill Zone. So he heads into the waterway and picks up one of the items that he needs. And just like that, Meteorific finally gets his hammer, Scupula picking up the key in the first check of Meyer. Arrow upgrade for Scupula, and he's going to keep checking for the big key. Meanwhile, Meteorific heading towards the elevator to go back up, and is probably going to check out Super Climb here as Scupula is still looking for the big key. Gonna pass by uh, the enemy with the key. Not sure why he skipped over that. Probably just saying I don't need it. Get some missiles, and we're gonna head towards the eastern half. Scupula finding the key, but not the key that he's looking for. Getting closer and closer. Is probably going to do a cutscene check. Scupula accidentally did not get the torches correct the first time, but is able to at least light all the torches before problems occurred as he sits through the shaking of mire. Meteorific finally able to get his flippers as Scupula finds the big key after the cutscene and is going to head straight into Vitreous. Meanwhile, Scupula made it through the dark room of Mire, no problems, and is now heading towards the Vitreous boss as Meteorific heads into Swamp Palace. And Scupula has what he needs to take out Vitreous in an easy manner. Got silver arrows, just shoot the eye out. And another crystal down for Scupula. Only ice remains, and he's got what he needs to make it a very quick one with Icebreaker. You're picking up his cart container. As Scupula knows, I can just get through ice, no problems. Is going to need a key, but and it's going to need to hit a switch. I would go back and go hit the switch before doing Icebreaker, but it's not what he's going to do. Is going to pick up the big key. Oh, and finds the lamp in Ice Palace. That is not what you want to find late in the game. Because that tells us that Ice Palace was supposed to be before Meyer and man, that's just it's a tough break, but Scupula now heading into the key area of ice before Ice T. Nidorufic picks up his Fire Rod finally, and now it's a trip to the basement. Scupula into Cold Stare as Nidorufic is going to set up Diver down here. Accidentally bops the block in the water, has a little bit of troubles. Meanwhile, Scupula is able to quickly take out Cold Stare and grab the crystal. Scupula now is probably going to head into GT. So if you like to play the guessing game of how many checks will it be before we find the big key, post that in chat. And I'll go first since I'm not seeing any guesses yet. I'm going to go with 1. I see Rainbow with 11. Meteorific takes down Argus. I'm seeing a 13. think one of my friends always guesses 7. Excalibur is guessing 6. And Scupula finally picking up his ice beam. And Nidourific heading into Mire now. Seeing a guess of 3 in chat as Scupula is going to open up GT, and we're going to start counting. Scupula heading towards the right side first. And check number 1 is a small key. Number 2, another small key. Is going to head into Tile Room. It's going to skip Tile Room for now because it's a very slow check. And is setting up for the torches. Meanwhile, Nidourific picks up a small key and picks up an arrow upgrade as Scupula's third check is super missiles, 4 super missiles, 5 a piece of heart, 6 a map. Grabs the key, mirrors out, and we're on to the left side. Number 7 is 20 rupees. Eight is a small key. 9 is arrow upgrade. 10 is missiles. 11 is 20 rupees. Twelve is an E-tank as Nidourific activates the cutscene. Thirteen is a piece of heart. Nidourific heading towards Vitreous, whose name escaped me for the moment. Oh, there's our big key. I think that was number 14. Very, very close, but Pythagorean was the closest without going over. All right, Scupula taking out the red mimics real quick. Makes short work of them. And is going to head into the cannonball room here. Neither effect able to make it through the dark portion of Mire as Scupula enters in the gauntlet. Neither effect also making short work with the silver arrows as Scupula continues through the gauntlet. Scupula with the triple kill of the land mullas, easy peasy, and heads up stairs for another triple kill with the Cane of Samaria. And we'll see if he gets a quad kill here. Does get the quad kill. Very nice. Eaterific heading into ice now. Scupula's just picking up the chest just for fun. Picks up another heart container, some more money, and is getting close to Moldorm. Meanwhile, Nidoриfic activates the switch before heading back into Icebreaker. This is the way I usually like to play Ice Palace, but Scupula taking out Trolldorm 2. Nidoриfic taking a couple tries here to set up Icebreaker. Is having a little bit of troubles with it. But does eventually make it through. Scupula now on Aga 2. It's a single to start. Almost got a double, but the geometry was a little bad. Again, another single getting hit off of Aga. It's another single just because of the blue balls. Unfortunate miss there. But it does get a triple to finish it out. Meterific heading down into or getting closer towards the boss room. And while Ganon talks about slugs, Meterific takes down Cold Stare. And he's gonna move into probably Skull Woods and finish that out. Yeah. Scupula getting a nice double hit in. Is able to get 3 hits before he has to reactivate the torches and enter in a single G for Scupula as he is shortly going to head into Torian to finish off Mother Brain. Save quick and a reset will bring him straight into the ship where he can do a quick refill if needed, but then it's on to Torian. He's going to opt out of taking the refill. He's got charge, plasma, full beam combo, doesn't need the extra supers. Pupila making short work of the first Metroid room. Meterific with the butter sword is getting walled a bit by the spikes, but does take out Mothula. Scupula taking out the second to last Metroid room and makes it look easy. Scupula into the baby room as Nidoриfic is making his way into GT. Scupula with the baby skip, where you skip the baby skip. Nidoриfic now opening up GT. Scupula heading down and needs to turn off the screw if he wants to do the ice clip here. Unfortunately, does not remember, so is going to have to spend some ammunition to get rid of the barriers here. And Scupula, making sure he gets hit just the correct amount of times. Might see a stand-up glitch if he knows how to do it. No, he's going to damage down. May not know how to set that up. Meanwhile, Nidorific making the tile room play, which we know is not the way, and is just going to waste a little bit more of his time. Unfortunate. Yeah, Nidorific probably not happy to see that 20 as the baby steps in to save Link from an unfortunate demise and give Link the power of the Triforce. Meanwhile, Nidorific clearing out the right side just as Scupula did, and is going to head back into the left side where he will eventually find his big key. And as Mother Brain goes down, Scoop is now set to escape and finish the game. Terrific. Heading up into the spike room as Scupula. Get your GGs in is first, not just on the restream, but overall with a race time score of 2 hours, 39 minutes, 47 seconds. GG Scupula. And as we wait to see if Scupula joins us for an interview, Peterific heading into the gauntlet. Looks like Scupula will be joining us here. Welcome, Scupula. GG on the win.
Thanks. Felt pretty good. I mean, even with the hammer business.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a lot of precarious items that, like, you and Nidourific went your separate ways. Um, you were able to find the hammer first. Um, Nito did the shack check because he managed to pick up grapple and found the flute on shack.
Oh man. Well, it doesn't feel bad, but where was the grapple then?
Yeah, luckily SMZ3 has that nice mire exit to use.
Well, I mean, depends when you get it. It helps move around, but yeah, where was the grapple then?
I am kind of blanking on where that was. I'm thinking, oh yes, the man under the bridge.
Okay. Um,
Thank you, Pix.
yeah, I thought about. I want to say at some point thought about doing bomb arrows or something to get to there. Unless I'm thinking of something else. I was gonna do a little bit of Dark World with the fake flippers, but if you remember that, I was gonna run into the little bomber dude, so I said to heck with it. It was gonna be too late to try and catch land and then fake flipper again. Plus, probably a bad
And
idea in general.
well, luckily you were able to find the cape much quicker than Nidourific was able to, so you're able to get the flippers from the dark ledge. Nito had to search around for a while before he found the cape.
Yeah, and then fire rod left side. I mean, you watch me enough, I do all this stuff, so it worked out today, honestly. That's about all there is to it. Mitts for go mode will help in that regard. I imagine there's probably a few people that went back slash, well, just into Mire in general without having all this stuff.
Yeah, it's very, very possible because having both Canes in Paradox, it just depends, on routing. Did you go there first? Um, one kind of thing I had a, kind of question just viewing everything. When you were fighting Dragon, did you remember that you could microwave him, or just kind
Oh,
of forgot it?
it blew my mind. I was like, something's up when I was doing it, and I'm like thinking, that yeah, I do have the X-ray. It must have been early as heck.
Yeah, I think X-ray was pretty early for both of you. I remember Plasma being a very quick find too, and then the charge beam above Batoon.
I really wish if I had like a brain recorder, I could go back and think about what it was, but I want to say it was. I don't know what it was. I really don't because it just got charged. But I can tell you that when I got charged, it was like, okay, so this is a bonus. This is just, now I can stop with the ammo type thing. I didn't even. I'm surprised that's the only thing I screwed up. I'll be honest with the way this last couple of weeks have been with me. Kind of sick. So.
I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully, you're feeling better though.
Well, like I said, there were some things that worked out. With the cane where it was, like I said, I thought about going back to Mark because I'm like, oh crap, because I could have had that if I went there when I was in Business Center the first time. But I kind of, I guess, committed.
Yeah, I guess I've definitely made that play before where start Meyer and I don't have a way to finish it, hoping that the Cane of Samaria is in there, and just not finding it, and then having to go back through all of Meyer really does kind of feel bad sometimes.
I mean, I might have done it sooner if I had fire, because I didn't want to leave go. I'll go all that way and then leave something I have to go do it again. You know, that was part of it.
And
And I
with
guess we,
the
yeah, needed it, didn't we? Yeah.
and with the lamp and ice palace, that was an interesting find because it probably logic expected you to do ice and then kind of go out of your way and do all this other stuff.
Yeah, Bomb Boost works for ice, but I don't remember. Well, it doesn't matter. You need mist to get in there. So, yeah, you're headed toward Mire either way. So, yeah, it works on paper even, and it looked. I feel like I got a lot of explaining to do, you know. This wasn't good. It wasn't a good seed, right? But
It happens as sometimes you just get bad luck and sometimes it's just something that you think, oh, I don't need to go here, and then well, turns out you did. One other question that I had for you, I'm not sure how familiar are you familiar at all with the stand-up glitch for Mother Brain?
no, it scares me too when I read about it. So I just haven't gotten
Yeah,
to it.
there's definitely ways to break the game. It's just I didn't notice that you had a good deal of health, and uh, once I saw you basically uh, just taking the hits, I was like, okay, Scoop might not know about stand up, but
Yeah, I have very little Turian. In fact, SM is my weaker game. I'm kind of happy with where it is now from where it came from, but there's just a lot of stuff I don't have.
yeah, I mean it definitely looked good, and I'm not or Link to the Past is probably my stronger game too. To be fair, I started learning Super Metroid I think back in October. Um, but there's definitely Super Metroid has a lot of neat tricks and ways to get better at it.
Well, and then I say that, and then so I've been doing a few ladders lately for Zelda, right? Z3R, and I'm having a miserable time in Zelda, and yet I come over here. So that doesn't make much sense. Zelda my stronger game, but I don't know. I've been playing
And
this longer, been doing it more. I'd prefer to do it. I think it's more seeing what it's going to see. Because I tell you what, by Kakariko, I'm like, we have all this stuff, and I've done this enough to know that there's going to be something stupid, and there were multiple stupids. So that did factor
sometimes
in.
sometimes silly things happen, but I think you played really well today, and this that's something to take away from this is, I mean, you're still first, and we still have yet to see a second place finisher, so I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, movement was good, in general. And I can admit that much. But Mit's Go mode will fix that for you too. Now, like if I had gone there earlier thinking, I hecked myself out of something with a lack of cane, then I would have had the mitts, and that could have led to all kind of stuff. So some other day it'll go the other way.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Speaking of like just Zelda randomizer, what are your favorite kind of modes to throw in? I don't know if you just use uh, the normal fork of the Z3R, or if you play around with other forks.
I haven't really. I use bots and YAMLs that just call on the main branch, but I do that, and I haven't gotten into entrance. I don't particularly have a desire. I don't like screen transitions as it is. It's the slowest part of either game. I mean, I could see the draw. I don't know if I would want to erase it, so I just plain old haven't. But everything else I'll do. I'll do inverted and all kind of stuff. I see a lot of people who will do entrance before they'll do inverted, and okay. But
Yeah, inverted can be quite daunting sometimes. Just for fun, I've been using the car fruit fork for a bit, where you can have Ganon's weakness be random. So it could be something like Cane of Burna or
yeah,
magic powder.
I've heard of this or that discussion regarding that fork, so I'm aware of it. Like, I actually do more wacky stuff if I do Varioranda for SM than I do with Zelda. I don't know why. It just worked out that way, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes that can be fun too. Just set random objectives, have some memes in there. So like tickle the red fish, kill Shaq.
It's
Just
actually funny too, because I mentioned I don't do entrance, but I have, well, out of kind of necessity, worked myself into having to do area rando, and I actually like it for SM. Maybe because it's not every door in the game.
yeah, it's just the major transitions. Yeah, for something like every door, there's a door rando that I've done a couple of where it reworks the entire map based off of some sort of algorithm that it sets, and
Yeah,
that can be interesting.
if you mean map rando, I have the Discord. I haven't been brave enough to get into it yet. I'll have to talk about what he did when he gets here. Clearly had to have been some different stuff that would make sense for most people, I'm sure.
And like, some what makes sense for what the seed rolled is different from what's efficient. And like I said, just a good, this time difference. We've been talking for about, 20 minutes, and Meterific now finishing with a race time.gg of 2 hours, 54 minutes, 10 seconds GG to Nito. And Sky finishing third place.
Oh, man, right
2 hour 55:05.
Yeah, see, now it's going to make sense now. Here comes everybody, and I'm just doing goofy crap, apparently.
Well, I mean, like I said, you've got, a good, 10 to 20 minutes over everyone else, so obviously you did something right.
Well, yeah, like I said, it worked out today, and I like to think I detailed, why, because like you revolve around the high. GG. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I
don't know.
I
Yeah,
didn't go get the cane right away. Like when I passed up the transition in business center, and I kind of realized later that maybe that was a bad idea. But I guess this is what happened today.
This is systematic. Every single time I feel good about a trolley seat, somebody beats me by at least 15 minutes because they got rotted it out of the blue.
Yeah, what did you think about the item placement, Nito?
Well, I mean, I didn't double dip any dungeons, except Skull. Yeah. So, I mean, I thought I did good, but apparently no.
Well, I was wondering who here might have double dipped in my area because of the me not having the cane, so I didn't even bother.
I had the flu, but I just checked desert and it had nothing. You know what extra thing did I do that I shouldn't have done? Check desert, double dip skull. That's worth 15 minutes. I don't think so.
I didn't get the flute, and I heard about where it was, so there's that. I mean, this is all like 2 and 3 minutes a pop, so.
I guess, yeah. Shack is a really long check.
So you got your ice rod too.
Yeah, it is.
That was a fun one. Like, oh, cool, in the cool spot, but we don't need it.
Yeah, for the beginning, both of you were pretty neck and neck, making the same plays at pretty much the same times. Really, where it started to diverge was a little bit later into, I think, the Super Metroid side when eventually you both found your gloves, but I think Nito found both gloves before Scoop, who had just, the single glove and was searching for the Titans. But Scoopula had the hammer first, checking the waterway, and it's just,
And because I assume he didn't sprint skip, because he couldn't, that's what Varia was. So going back there after getting speed booster out of Lower Norfair is a pretty inspired play.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't go straight there, and no, I didn't burn skip. I thought about it with the gravity. I'm like, well, I could go wreck shipping down and then come back later. But
all we got there was space jump. That's about it.
The only thing I didn't do before the hammer was going into mire, I want to say.
Yeah, because I think you did your Meridia before anything in Norfair, if I remember right. Or was that Nito?
I think that would have been Nito.
I did front of Meridia, into Crade, into Business Center, into Death Mountain, then back to Duberin Loop and get my various suits. So I went to Lower Norfair, but I got my glove first. I cleared Lower Norfair, I did a reverse acid dive, and I found the mitts at Meyer Shed, so I had flute and mitts and Moon Pearl. And I did a lot of overall checks, but I only double dipped skull. And
yeah, I think that would have been the only thing that could have saved you a little bit of time, Scoopula's, when you first went into GT, or you saved right before going into GT, but then didn't check the shed. And in hindsight, knowing that's where one of the gloves was, that could have maybe saved you a bit of time. But overall, just to get the mitts and not anything else, because I think at the time you were still missing the cane, so it would have just been a single item.
Yeah, and it would have reset the save. Now, I might have done it after Ridley if I'd done Croc first, but I just didn't today.
It just worked out.
Game, I don't know.
Yeah, it worked out for you.
I do have enough where I'm like, okay, I did fine. Why am I last or second to last? So, but the other, now of course this was everybody. I think everybody, but Kaz boots SMZ3. I'm in, because I seen the boost. I'm like, all right, 2 hour sword, and we got to dodge everything on our dash lines. But no, it's like right there. I literally saved
the boots being early is basically one of those. You're not going to miss it.
And SM same way. Space and screw. That's free Metroid. So for me, it always picks up a lot of time because there's a lot of things people greater than I can do with all that stuff, or without all that stuff in SM, but with it, I can just skip the game.
I think the although Fluid was at Shack, I think it's paid for itself because I used it a lot.
Yeah,
It probably saved me at least 3 minutes the time it took to get it.
I kind of thought that whenever Lupus Dragon told me that, you know, it's not the worst feeling to find out there, because you're gonna, unless it's like late, then it's bad. But
It was pretty early. At that time, I only had done Wrecked Ship, went down Red Tower, and done front of Meridia. That's where I got the flute. So I went down the crate, down the center, did the Eastern Death Mountain, got my cane, saved and quit, checked shovel spot, turned in the bottle, and activated the flute. It all worked out really well, but I mean, it sequenced really well. I mean,
well, you know, that's what I was saying right before we got in here, that everybody else is going to be within a couple of minutes of each other, and then I don't know.
well, GG.
You too.
And any final thoughts before we go, or?
Well, you know, for sure, thank you again for calming this and to Excalibur for the tracking, because, you know, if not, we didn't do it, and it's fun to
definitely thanks to Excalibur for doing tracking, and thank you both for racing.
Well, thank you for commentating so I could race this year.
Yeah. Well, hopefully everyone has had a good Memorial Day, and I guess to wrap it up, we'll see you next mission. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching Speed Gaming 4 and SMZ3.